First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this would not be possible. Low Nose Boxing. Hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. I want to talk about a trending topic that's been going on lately. Ryan Garcia and his place among the quote-unquote 4 young kings. There's been debate whether Ryan Garcia is really one of the quote-unquote young kings or not. Here's my take on it. In my opinion, the way I see things, Ryan Garcia is not a part of the 4 kings, the quote-unquote young kings of boxing, and I'm going to explain to you why. And the only way I could do that is by comparing the young kings to the original 4 kings and how the 4 kings started, right? First off, Ryan Garcia is not a world champion, right? His contemporaries, Teofimo Lopez, 2-division world champion, former undisputed 2 times lineal. Devin Haney, 2-division world champion, former undisputed champion, now competing for his 3rd division. Shakur Stevenson, 3-division world champion, former unified champion, right? Gervonta Tank Davis, whatever you want to say about him, he's a 3-division world champion, undefeated fighter, pretty decent resume, right? Ryan Garcia is not a world champion. Ryan Garcia doesn't have elite level wins on his resume unless you want to include the Devin Haney fight, which turned out to be a scandal. See, when the quote-unquote 4 young kings of the past or 5 kings fought each other, they were all established. They were all established by the time they fought each other. So no, Ryan Garcia is not a king. He's not. He's never been a world champion, right? When Sugar Ray Leonard, which was the first fight that set off the whole 4 king round robin, Sugar Ray Leonard took on Wilfredo Benitez. Sugar Ray Leonard, yeah, he wasn't a champion at the time, but Sugar Ray Leonard was an Olympic gold medalist. He was highly touted. He was groomed for stardom. And he took on Wilfredo Benitez, who was already established. Wilfredo Benitez was a 2-division world champion by 21 years old. He was the youngest world champion ever by 17, right? That was a 4-king matchup. The next one was Sugar Ray Leonard taking on Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, prior to moving up to 147 pounds, already established himself and arguably had the best run any fighter, any champions ever had at 135 pounds, right? He was #1 pound for pound on the list when he fought Sugar Ray Leonard, right? Eventually, Sugar Ray Leonard went on to fight Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns, when they fought, was a world champion. Eventually, 3 of those kings moved up to 160 and took on Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who was already a world champion. You see where I'm coming from? Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis is not a 4-king matchup. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is not a 4-king matchup. What I will say about Ryan Garcia is more of a supporting cast, a supporting act to the young kings. And what I mean by that is Ryan Garcia is a highly credible foe who has took on 2 of the kings, right? Lomachenko, a legend. He's a supporting cast as well, because he took on 2 of the kings. He took on T.O., he took on Devin. His name has been aligned with Gervonta Davis, right? Now, Lomachenko has the accomplishments to be considered a king, but Lomachenko is not in the same age range as the young kings. He's not. So therefore, he's not a king, but he's a supporting act. Rolly Romero took on Gervonta Davis, right? He could possibly become a supporting act if Rolly Romero takes on another king. Now, back in the day, right, we got Wilfredo Benitez, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, the 5 kings. Most people say 4, but I'm going to put respect on Wilfredo Benitez's name. He is a king. Now, the supporting act at the time was guys like Pepino Cuevas, who was a credible fighter, Hall of Famer, took on Roberto Duran, took on Tommy Hearns, right? Then we had Carlos Palomino, another one who took on Wilfredo Benitez and took on Roberto Duran. Davey Moore took on Roberto Duran, took on Wilfredo Benitez. So Ryan Garcia is more of a supporting cast member to the young kings. He's not a king because he's not a world champion. By the age of 28 years old right now, all the guys have already surpassed him. And I'm not trying to slander Ryan Garcia's career, but he's not on the same level as the quote-unquote kings, even though he did get the better of Devin Haney, whether you want to say it was because of drugs or whatever the case may be. But Devin Haney's more accomplished. However, Brian Norman Jr. has the chance to actually become one of the kings. He has the chance to become the Marvin Hagler of the new kings. Why? For one, Brian Norman Jr. is already a world champion. Brian Norman Jr. is at 147 pounds, which looks like the division that most of these guys are probably going to cap out at the end of the day. Now, Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., those guys are scheduled to fight in November. If Brian Norman Jr. defeats Devin Haney and then eventually takes on Teofimo Lopez, we can put Brian Norman Jr. in the mix as the 5th king. But right now, we can't put Ryan Garcia in that mix. Ryan Garcia, like I said before, is more of a supporting cast, a supporting act to the 4 kings, 5 kings, whatever you want to call them. He's not a king. I just want to clarify that. And as far as people saying, oh, him and versus Devin, him versus Tank, that was a king fight. No, we really haven't had a quote-unquote king fight yet. Because like I said before, Devin Haney is the one that went in there with the credentials. He's the one that went in there accomplished, not Ryan Garcia. Gervonta Davis is the one that went in there accomplished, not Ryan Garcia. However, if we get the big fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that would be the official first fight of the quote-unquote Young Kings. Why? Because those are 2 guys that are already established. Those are 2 guys that arguably, if they were to retire right now, they most likely would get into the Hall of Fame. We're talking about Shakur Stevenson, a 3-division world champion, undefeated, former unified champion. Teofimo Lopez, 2-division champion, arguably former undisputed champion, 2-time lineal champion. Both guys got momentum. Both guys about 27, 28 years old. That would be the official first fight of the quote-unquote Young Kings. I just want to clarify that right now. With that being said, enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to my channel, Low Nose Boxing, because Low Nose Boxing. I'm out.